Yo, what's going on? It's your boy, Mr. Locario, the bad boy of the dating game. What's good? And so, ladies, this video's for you. I wanted to talk about the dangers of you following your emotions. Right now, it might sound crazy. Like, what are you talking about? Right now, what I want to say first is this. Right, the way you feel, it's important. That's how you feel. You understand? I don't want you to ignore how you feel. I don't want you to feel bad about how you feel. You understand? How you feel is how you feel, right? And you don't need to ignore it. You shouldn't have to dismiss it. You should understand it, but you shouldn't ignore it. You shouldn't dismiss it. You shouldn't try to push it to the side. But what I want to talk about in this video is I want to talk about the dangers of you just following that emotion or feeling. Just based off how you feel at the moment, you are doing certain actions that have certain consequences, right? Now, I talk about dating and relationships and stuff like that. So, I want to talk more about the relationship aspect because I get a lot of women who hit me up and they say, hey, I can't find a good man, or it's really hard out here. Things aren't going the way it should. And a big reason why things aren't going the way you want it to is because you're following your emotions. You're following your feelings, right? You are doing exactly what your feelings are telling you to do. Your feelings are controlling you. So in a lot of these situations that I hear, it can basically be traced back to the woman feeling a certain way and then just going off of that feeling, right? So what you got to understand is that even though you're feeling a certain way, right, you have to understand that the world is not going to, give you what you want just because you're feeling a certain way, right? In order for you to get what you want, you have to actually follow through and do things in a practical manner, right? So, for example, let's say, you're supposed to go out on some dates or whatever. Some guys want to take you out. And then let's say you got a particular guy who wants to take you out. And you say, okay, cool, let's meet up on Friday. And you plan a date on Friday. Now, Friday comes. And for some reason, you're not feeling sexy, or you got into an argument with your friend. So now you're upset. So you're not feeling happy, right? Then you end up calling that guy or texting that guy or whatever and saying, hey, I'm not feeling too good. Can we reschedule? Can we do this? Can we do that? Right? So now you're flaking on this guy because of those feelings. You understand? Forget the fact that you actually made a plan with him. Forget the fact that, when you're saying certain things and you're making plans, you should stick to them. You're just saying, fuck all of that. I feel this way, so I am going to react this way, right? So now let's say you really like this guy and you wanted to see him, you wanted something to go down, and next week you really wanted to see him. And now let's say he's probably moved on. He's like, you know what? I'm good. I don't really like when girls flake or whatever. Like, that's his attitude, right? And so now you're upset. But the thing is that the reason why you didn't see him the first time was because you flaked because you were following your feelings, right? So you could have went on a date because, I know a lot of women, they'll say, oh, well, I'm feeling this way, so I don't want to be, this way on a date. It's actually better to go on the date and tell the guy, hey, there was a lot of stuff that happened today. I was kind of in a bad mood, but I really wanted to come and see you. You know how much points you would get to do that versus just flaking on him because you're feeling, upset about some argument you had with your friend? You understand? So the thing is that when you are following your feelings, you end up doing things that could mess stuff up. Now, let's take this even just, away from dating a little bit. You have a lot of women who might get into, an argument with a man, and they're so angry at this guy. They're so frustrated that they end up slapping him in the face, right? Because they're following their feelings. You're following your feeling. You got so upset that you wanted to hit him. So then you hit him, and then this guy that you hit in the face punches you in the face and knocks you out, right? Now you're upset he hit you, but the consequence of you following your feelings is you basically getting punched in the face because you hit him just because you were feeling like hitting him, right? So the thing is, what I'm trying to get across here is that you're going to have your feelings, you're going to have your emotions, but you have to be able to understand how to check your feelings and not react just based off your feelings. Because your reaction based off of your feelings will produce a certain outcome. And though that outcome that it produces might be something that is not beneficial to you, right? And, I've coached a lot of women, and I noticed that for some reason, a lot of women will think that it's okay to do certain things and justify it as, well, I just felt that way, so I did it, right? So the truth is that, if you're doing something based solely off your feelings and you just make that thing happen, and whatever you did, you can do that. Like, there's nobody stopping you. I'm not saying you can't do it, right? But what I want to get across is this. You cannot get upset at the consequences of your actions that were done based off of your feelings, right? So let's say, for example, you have a boyfriend or something, and let's say you and him get into a argument or whatever, and then he leaves the house, you leave the house, you meet some dude, and then you have sex with that dude, you cheat on your man, and then let's say you confess to your man that you cheated, or he finds out, or whatever it is, and then you want to say, it's not my fault. I was just feeling very emotional. I was upset, and I was, and this and this and that. Right? Now, you could have been feeling all these things. But the fact is that your actions, what you did, is what you did. You did it. So even if you were doing it because of your emotions and how you were feeling, you did it. And there are consequences for what you do. So if your boyfriend says, hey, I'm done with you, hey, I'm going to leave you, then guess what? That was your fault because you did it. But you can't sit there and say, you shouldn't leave me, and it's not fair because it was just because of my emotions, and you should be okay with that. You should be okay with what happened, or you should just forgive me and everything should be fine. No, it doesn't work that way. And this is what I try to get across to with a lot of women is that, a lot of times you are reacting and doing things because of how you feel, and then you expect the man that you're dealing with, the man that you want to be with, the man that you want to get with, to just sort of like brush over it. And you want to use the I'm a emotional woman card, and you should be okay with that. And you should just be cool with it. Right? But see, that's not how the world works. The world is not going to work in, let's just give her leeway. Let's just be, it's okay, miss, that you did this thing. Because we understand that you were upset. It doesn't work that way, because your actions, what you're doing, is going to cause a certain thing to occur. A certain outcome is going to happen, right? And I see this all the time where what happens is a lot of women will not reflect. So, ladies, you have to reflect on what's really going on. So a lot of times when you say, hey, how come this guy didn't call me back? How come, things aren't going the way it's going? How come, this, how come that? If you really honestly look at the part you played in it, there is something that you probably did in that situation. And in most cases, you did it just because you were feeling a certain way. You did it just based solely on those feelings, instead of saying, you know what? I'm feeling annoyed right now, but I did promise this guy I was going to see him on Friday. So let me go see him. You don't say, I'm feeling frustrated, but let me not smack this guy in the face. Let me hold my composure. Right? You have to be responsible for your actions. You can't let your actions be dictated just based off your emotion and then get mad at the consequences of your actions. It's really that simple. But see, what you ladies got to understand is that you're in a society that has taught you that there is no consequence for your action, that you can do whatever you want and it's going to be okay. All you have to do is stand in the middle of the street and cry and somebody's going to help you. And the thing is that the sad part is that in certain cases like this, that happens. It's true. Some dude will come out, hey, miss, are you okay? Blah, 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 blah. But when you really want something to go down, because a lot of these guys that you're dealing with, sometimes they're not going to tell you the truth. They're just appeasing you. They're just sort of like going along to get along because they want vagina. But the thing is that if you want a real long-lasting relationship, if you want to actually have success in dating, if you want things to go down, if you want things to progress, then you have to master yourself. You have to master your emotions. You have to practice not going based off of how you're feeling. Right? Because again, like I said, how you feel is important. But if you're doing things just based off how you're feeling, right? You're moving based off of emotion and not being practical. Right? Because no one really cares how you feel. That's really what it is. No one cares how you feel. And the thing is, a lot of you ladies know how to do this. You know how to act accordingly and not act based off of emotion, because I know plenty of women, you might be this way too, where you have a job. And I know there's a day of the week or some days you wake up and you say, you know what? I don't feel like going to work. But what do? You get your ass up, you take a shower, and you go to work, right? Even though you didn't feel like it. So you weren't going based off of your emotions because you said, you know what, even though I don't feel like it, there is a bigger purpose. I need to make money to pay my bills and live and do what I have to do. So even though I don't feel like going to work, I'm going to go to work. I'm going contrary to what I'm doing, contrary to what my emotions are telling me. So if you can do it there, why can't you do it when you're dealing with men? Huh? Think about that. If you could do it there, why can't you do it with your relationships with men? And if you apply that same knowledge to your relationships with men, then you would actually be having better relationships. All right? So that's all I want to say for today, ladies. Make sure you click the link below to get my free audio program, 7 highly effective steps to finding and keeping a man. And I will holler at you later. Remember, the truth is inside you. Peace. I'm out. All right, before you turn off this video, I need you to do 3 quick things. 1, I want you to click the link below to send me your questions. So if you have any questions you want me to answer, send it to me and I will answer it for you. Number 2, I want you to click the link under that to get my free audio program, 7 highly effective steps to finding and keeping a man. And number 3, I want you to click the last link under that to go to my Bad Girl membership program where you get 45 through 90-minute audio and video tutorials every month that's designed to help you find the right man.